here are some ideas Neverwinter could bring in or resurrect to elevate your game experience. Roll it. Hey, what's up you window-licking extraordinaires, and how's life been treating ya? I really do hope you all get up and stretch every few hours, maybe even go outside and smell the actual air, and not just the smell of sweat, socks, and Dorito dust. And if you're new around here, my name is Galactic Underwear, and on this channel, we talk about all things Neverwinter. Sometimes constructive, sometimes not so much, but who the fuck cares anyways? Because one thing we definitely don't do around here is beat around the bush, unless of course she's into that sort of thing.
Hot.
Today's video has me super stoked, because some of these ideas come from subscribers of this channel. Not all of the ideas, but the few that made it in were, in my opinion, very, very good. But before we jump in, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on any of my uploads. And of course, become a member if you feel like supporting me even more. Like these fine folks right here. Let's begin. The following video content is purely speculative and unlikely to become a reality. Nevertheless, envisioning these ideas could add an exciting and enjoyable twist to the gaming experience in Neverwinter. But also, to be fair, recently many issues and quality of life changes have been picked up from the Protectors Enclave Discord. If you feel any of these would be great for our game, go there and make some noise. So diving into what could make Neverwinter better as a game. It's a question that opens up a floodgate of ideas, because let's face it, we all have a laundry list of suggestions. Many of you could probably chime in with the classic bring back the old combat system. And I completely understand. I've echoed that sentiment in numerous past videos. However, for this one, let's explore some perspectives beyond the familiar combat overhaul. Dynamic weather. One feature I'd love to see in Neverwinter, though it's probably not at the top of everyone's wish list, is the integration of dynamic weather. I'm not talking about dedicated zones where it's perpetually snowing. I mean real-time weather changes that affect both the player and the game world. Beyond mere aesthetics, dynamic weather could deeply immerse players in the game. Imagine sunny days enhancing visibility, making your adventures clear, while rain or snow poses a challenge, reducing visibility and adding an extra layer of complexity. The impact could extend to NPCs and quests as well. NPCs might react differently based on weather conditions. Some could seek shelter during storms, while others could become more active. Quests could evolve dynamically, introducing scenarios like rescuing stranded travelers in a blizzard or safeguarding a village from flooding. Weather events could even introduce environmental hazards, heavy rain creating muddy terrain that slows down movement, or snowstorms obscuring vision, demanding players to adapt their strategies accordingly. Implementing seasonal cycles with corresponding weather changes could create a sense of time progression. Different seasons might affect the availability of resources, spawn rates of creatures, and even activate unique seasonal events. Specific regions or dungeons could pose weather-specific challenges. Navigating a mountain pass during a blizzard might require additional preparation or specific gear, injecting a strategic element into exploration. The potential extends to combat dynamics as well, with weather affecting strategies. Even more intriguing, weather changes could trigger world events. A severe thunderstorm might lead to the emergence of rare creatures seeking shelter, offering opportunities for unique loot and challenges. While it might not be a change Neverwinter is inclined to make or even have the capability to do, the addition of weather dynamics, if executed correctly, could be a truly amazing addition to this game. But the chances of this happening are literally zero. Cross-platform play enables players of different platforms to adventure together, expanding their player community. It brings together players from different platforms into a unified player base, ensuring a larger pool of potential opponents and allies. This can lead to quicker matchmaking and a more dynamic gaming experience. Cross-platform play allows friends to play together regardless of the gaming system they own. It fosters social connectivity, enabling people to share their gaming experience without platform restrictions. By uniting players across platforms, developers can extend the lifespan of the game. This prolonged player engagement benefits both the gaming community and the developers, who can continue supporting and updating the game. Cross-platform play also promotes diversity and competitive gaming. Players from different platforms bring varied strategies and playstyles, enriching the competitive scene and making it more dynamic. Players don't feel compelled to invest in a specific console or gaming PC to join their friends. This promotes economic accessibility, allowing gamers to choose platforms based on their personal preferences rather than social pressure. And with a larger player pool, random queues or finding players to play with in general wouldn't take as long as they do now. Heroics, hunts, trials, and other in-game activities would happen way more often with way more activity and opportunity for everyone to partake. Cross-platform play can lead to the growth of gaming communities. It enables players to connect with a broader audience, fostering a sense of camaraderie among gamers regardless of their preferred gaming platform. Knowing that their player base spans across platforms, developers may be motivated to innovate and optimize the game to ensure a consistent and enjoyable experience for everyone. In essence, cross-platform play contributes to a more inclusive, connected, and sustainable gaming environment, enriching the experiences of players and fostering a stronger sense of community within Neverwinter. The chances of this happening aren't very high for various reasons that I won't get into now, but it's not impossible. Under the right circumstances, it could happen, but the chances of this happening, in my opinion, is close to zero. Dynamic day and night cycles. A dynamic day and night cycle, in my opinion, would be an awesome addition. As simple and as unimportant as it might seem, a dynamic day and night cycle adds a layer of realism to the game, making the virtual world of Neverwinter feel more immersive. Players can enjoy the changing scenery, from vibrant sunsets to moonlit landscapes, creating a more visually engaging experience. I mean, just look at this visual from Ravenloft at night. Spectacular. It also adds an atmospheric ambiance. Different times of the day bring unique atmospheric changes. The transition from day to night could alter the mood and ambiance of the game, enhancing the overall aesthetic and making exploration more captivating. Real-time day and night cycles can even be made to affect gameplay, with certain events or creatures appearing only at specific times. The changing lighting conditions can provide visual variety, preventing the game from feeling monotonous. Players would experience Neverwinter in different ways, from the warmth of the daylight to the mysterious ambiance of nighttime. I'd say the likelihood of this being applied to all existing maps is quite low, around a 5% chance. It's not because it's impossible. The game already features it in Barovia and a few other areas. The skepticism stems more from doubting whether the developers have the time, resources, or inclination to invest the effort needed to implement this across all zones, so I wouldn't get my hopes up for seeing this anywhere. However, if we make enough noise about aspects we would like to see being part of future content, then it has a much better chance. Yeah, right, I didn't even believe what I just said. Customizable gear and fashion. Imagine the ability to personalize your gear and fashion in Neverwinter by crafting your own symbols, crests, and designs. They can introduce a system where players can unlock special patterns or designs as they progress through the game. These could be earned through achievements, quests, or other in-game accomplishments. They can even create an emblem editor tool that lets players design their own symbols or crests. They can choose from various shapes, colors, and overlays to make their mark truly one of a kind. They can then add it to their shields, swords, loots, and so on. They can even extend the customization to guilds by allowing players to display their guild emblem on their gear. This fosters a sense of unity and identity within the guild, and in my opinion would look really cool. Also, for high level or rare customization options, they can consider adding more animated effects to gear. This could include glowing patterns, shimmering colors, or subtle animations that make the gear truly stand out. We have some already, but we could use a lot more. And they can implement a feature that allows players to showcase their customized gear in a designated area, such as a virtual museum or showroom. This way, others can admire and draw inspiration from creative designs. These additions could not only make Neverwinter a visually dynamic and diverse world, but also provide players with a greater sense of individuality and creative expression. The chances of any of these ideas becoming a reality is very low, probably around 1%. The only idea that has a higher chance of happening is the animated effects, since we already have some of them. Autopathing. In Neverwinter, we currently have what I call the yellow brick road. A helpful yellow path guiding you to your destination. However, it requires manual control, as your character won't automatically follow it unless you make the necessary turns. That's where the idea of autopathing comes in. Your character would not only have a designated route, but would also automatically navigate to it without you having to intervene. While this feature wouldn't be mandatory, allowing players to opt out and navigate manually if they prefer, I believe it would be fantastic to have the option. Games like Black Desert Online have successfully implemented autopathing, allowing players to multitask while their character autonomously reaches its destination. The likelihood of this feature being implemented, in my opinion, is quite low, perhaps 0 to 5% at most, but it would be an amazing addition if implemented. I mean, hey, we're allowed to dream. Now let's talk about strongholds. In my previous discussions about strongholds, I've expressed that they are arguably the most underutilized spaces in Neverwinter along with PvP. There was a time when strongholds were buzzing with activity, always packed with players. The reason for this was clear. There were meaningful activities to engage in, contributing to the guild's progress, coupled with a social hub where players could interact, have fun, and collectively work towards shared goals. Regrettably, that vibrant atmosphere has faded because it was left to rot and never had any upgrades implemented to them outside of better dragons and minor quality of life changes and various small tweaks. Strongholds now feel like largely dormant content, literally snoring, offering minimal engagement and a stark contrast to the bustling hub they once were. It's sad to witness such a spacious and visually striking area so underused and forgotten. The likelihood of strongholds undergoing a rework is relatively higher compared to other topics discussed in this video, but I wouldn't say I'm overly optimistic. I'd estimate the chances to be around less than 5%. A full rework has been confirmed as off the table for the foreseeable future, but there's a load of simple adjustments to the existing things that could streamline achieving goals, allowing players to feel more productive during their visits or other guild activities, making their presence more meaningful. For example, elemental strands readily available across the game could be integrated into the treasures for donation, helping guilds and providing a new purpose for items that are often going to waste. If elemental strands could be donated, it would ease the way for both players and for guilds. Based on the maps these strands can be acquired from, some suggest which type of treasure they could be added to. Decayed, found in swampy and decaying regions, add to dark gifts, suggested by the Dreadring connection. Verdant, found in lush and forest regions, add to fate trinkets, suggested by the Sharandar connection. Frozen, found in snowy regions, add to frozen treasures, suggested by the Icewind Dale connection. Others have no direct connection to existing resource lines in the guild coffers, but are similar in terrain to ones that do. So, Charred, found in volcanic regions, can also add to dark gifts. Volcanic areas being scorched and inhospitable pairs well with the putrid and barren places where Decayed are found. Crackling, found in sandy and storming regions, can add to frozen treasures. Sandy dunes or drifts of snow, it's all the same when a storm comes, and although there is a connection for these to treasures of tyranny through the Well of Dragons map, they already get the chromatic strands that are picked up practically everywhere. Expanding the Stronghold quest system to cover all map zones, not just a select few, could add variety and depth to the Stronghold activities. But as creating quests from scratch is a big chunk of effort, how about adding adventure shards of power? One of the resources growing guilds are most desperate for, since most of the resources got stripped out during the leveling rework. How about adding adventure shards of power to the rewards gained from doing the existing Sabella Legacy bonus quests? And how about removing or reducing to almost nothing the cooldowns on Stronghold quests to make them more easily farmable for those that want to? Making it so you can pick up all the quests your Stronghold has unlocked at the same time would help too, and make it easier for guilds to host quest run events. Although it's unlikely for now, we shouldn't ignore the vast currently unused spaces within the Strongholds. The current limits in the number of structures versus the number of structures that could be built suggest that there may have been intent at some point to extend the number of levels so a guild could potentially have all of them. Reworking and repurposing these areas could create incentive for guild members to invest more time, maximizing the enormous potential of the Stronghold map. And by fostering a sense of purpose and engagement, players can truly feel they are making valuable contributions to their guild and Stronghold community. I mean, just look at this huge map. It's such a waste of space. So that's it for some of the ideas of how Neverwinter can become better. More ideas are on the way, but until then, let me know your thoughts on the topics of this video in the comments. But for now, it's time to go. Peace.